Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, August 7, 2023 board meeting. Can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can everyone please stand for a moment of silence, please? For all our veterans out there always looking out for us and taking care of us. Thank you very much. You may sit down. Can I please have a roll call, please? Trustee Alpert?
Present.
Trustee Corrigan?
Present.
Trustee Denis-Hogue?
Present.
Trustee Hagen? Present. Mayor Curley, present. Upcoming meetings, we have a regular meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, September 5th at 2023 at 7 p.m. We also have a regular meeting scheduled for Monday, October 2nd, 2023 at 7 p.m. Can I please have a motion for approval of the July 17 board minutes, please?
Motion, Trustee Alpert.
Motion made by Trustee Alpert. Can I have a second, please?
Second, Denis-Hogue.
Second made by Trustee Denis-Hogue. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. I'd like now to set a public hearing for September 5th, 2023 at 7:02 p.m. to consider a law amending Chapter 215 of the Code of the Village of Suffern regarding rental properties in the Village of Suffern. You'll be able to comment them, but what we're trying to do here is with rental properties, with single family, two family, three family, four families, we want to have a record of who's renting them, who owns it, and we want to be able to do an inspection at that time when we do it. And we want to hold them accountable if they don't. So there'll be more things to talk about, and in a few days I'll have that law, you can all review it, and any comments for next month. I think with ever-changing time, I think it's important to hold landlords responsible and accountable, and this is one way to do that. And we're going to do that even with our new code enforcer. I'm going to assign him to be in charge of it, with the clerk working on it also, and even, actually, I'm going to shift someone over from recreation when they're not doing recreation duties to come over and there and get that in order. So that'll be set for then. So, so can I please get a motion to set that public hearing?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Trustee Hagen.
Second made by Trustee Hagen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. At this time, I want to cut the line because I see people from the Chamber of Commerce are here, and they would be the last thing on the agenda if I made them wait through the whole thing. I know Diddy's got to get back there and cook some food, or else he can't make a living. So what we're doing is the Chamber of Commerce was very helpful in switching the days for the street fair. So what we're going to do with the street fair is going to be on October 15th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Can I please have a motion approving the street fair for October 15th, please?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second. Trustee Hagen.
Second made by Trustee Hagen. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, folks, you're all set, okay? And early in the year, we're going to do both days next year. We'll just all coordinate it together, and we'll have both dates early on so we won't have any confusion. It all goes smooth. Okay, guys? Thank you very much. Okay, now, unfortunately, the attorney had a last-minute health emergency, and he can't be here, so I'm going to do the attorney section here. I'm going to authorize I want to authorize the village attorney to institute litigation for injunction and other relief against the owner of occupants of property located at 30 Sagamore Avenue. 30 Sagamore Avenue is the property where we found about 25 people living in that spot. Now, I will note that the code enforcers represent that the property owner is participating, and he does have a local court date tomorrow. But I don't want to take any chances of losing another month, so we're going to go ahead, and if he doesn't comply, and by tomorrow night. On Wednesday, we will be filing an action in the state Supreme Court, and we will do this as much as we need to do it to make people pay attention to our laws. So can I please have a motion authorizing the village attorney to institute litigation for injunction and other relief against the owner of occupants of property located at 30 Sagamore Avenue? Motion, please.
Trustee Hagen.
Motion made by trustee Hagen.
Second, trustee.
Second made by trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I also have a resolution establishing the amount of cash payment to the Village of Suffern Parking Improvement Fund that the Board of Trustees may decide to accept in lieu of providing some or all of required parking in the CB district. So what that's about is that we have a serious parking problem in this village. And for years, it was in front of the planning board and whether the village board, and there should have been monies in a bank account saved up so we could have, buy other parking or lease other parking. Well, we don't have any funds for that. So what this is establishing, it's going to take the power and put it in the hands of the village trustees. And if you change your use from one use to the other, and it's, you know, the parking is changed, you're going to have to pay the village for that parking. So we can then eventually buy more parking, because otherwise you're going to park your way out of Suffern. And I don't want that to happen. So we got the planner to look into it. The planner came back with recommendations, and we're going to go with that planner's recommendation. So can I please have a motion establishing the amount of cash payment to the Village of Suffern for parking improvement fund, please?
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Motion made by trustee Alpert. Second, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Second made by trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, I'm no longer the attorney. I'm back to being the mayor, okay? That was the attorney section. Grant writer, Fred Rella, please. That's Rella with an A.
Good evening, Board. We were just here 2 weeks ago, weren't we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I want to give an update on a few grants that are out there. West Maple Avenue Sidewalk Project. At the last meeting, which was August 17th, I said that that's when they began the shovel in the ground. And we actually have $300,000 to do that project, and it's going to come in under budget, which is great. But if you go by there, it looks beautiful. It really makes the neighborhood great, it makes the sidewalk safer. The curbs look great, the driveway aprons and everything. So there's a small punch list that may have to be done and some inspections, but it should be completed by the end of the week. And then that project can be closed out once they bill us. Want to talk about parking lot A. That's the parking lot across from the old Ole. And we have a $200,000 grant for the repaving of that. Charles will be putting forth a resolution tonight to do some engineering work on that project, so hopefully that will be done before the end of the year. The Village Hall heating system. This building was purchased in the 70s, and the heating system has been patched, I think, all of those years, and we really need to have an upgrade in the heating system. We're very fortunate to have received a grant in the amount of $235,000 for this project. The total cost of the project is estimated at $335,000, but that's actually going to be, you'll see Charles also has a resolution before you tonight to bid that project. So hopefully that will be ready as soon as possible, and maybe even this heating system, this winter during the heating season. Garbage truck, we have a grant for a garbage truck of $200,000, and the estimated cost of the garbage truck is $250,000. We've had the order in for the garbage truck for some time, but due to supply chain issues and also worker issues of being able to get workers, we plan on having delivery of the garbage truck during the first half of 2024. We're not exactly sure yet, but Joe Hunt and Charles are working closely with the vendor, and if we get a more definitive update, we'll let you know about that. We have 3 EFC grants I mentioned last time that we've been working diligently on. Michael, the mayor, Charles, and myself. The due date on those is this Friday, which is August 11th. But most importantly, that's one for a new well. It's also to do some backup generation for for the distribution system and the well field.
That would be for Bon Air, right, Fred?
Right, for Bon
That's
Air.
for Bon Air, yes.
Right, 2 generators, one in Bon Air. And the Bon Air, that backup generation for the distribution, that feeds, very importantly, not only the people within the Bon Air area, but also Good Samaritan Hospital.
Right.
So it's a critical infrastructure improvement that we need to have done. And the last one is automatic meter reading. So we're looking at doing automatic meter reading system within the village. Currently, we have meters which are 20 to 30 years old. We do the old drive-by with a truck to read the meters, and if the truck can't read the meters, then we actually have to go out there and physically read them. This new system would be cloud-based, so it's almost instantaneous. We can get meter reading done instantaneously. Will help with billing, will help determine leakage, which we have some leakage issues potentially on the water distribution system, so it's something very, very important that we get done. Once again, those 3 things, the well, the generators, and the meter reading, those are applications which are going in this Friday, and we should know by late November/December of this year whether or not we've been awarded those grants. The last thing I want to let you know, which is very important, is tomorrow night is the Mega Millions drawing. I expect to win, but even if I win, I will continue to be the grant writer for the Village of Suffern.
You are the best, Fred.
Can you
Thank you.
forfeit your salary, sir?
Yes, I will. That's it.
Just even like on the water system with the meters, the things where it benefits us is right now, if you have a leak in your house, we really can't tell for 6 months until the bill comes out. So it's actually helpful, besides finding leaks and trying to trace water that's missing, it also helps the residents. If they have a problem, we can then tell you within days if you have a water leak in your house, we would then alert you, so if you have a running toilet, or you'd be surprised how much money you could lose in water just based on a running toilet. So it's important to always fix those things. It could come to $100 a year, or a sink, or whatever else it may be. Thank you, Fred.
You're welcome.
Very
Thanks,
much.
Fred.
Fire Department, please.
Good evening, Village Board. The first item on the agenda is a motion to attend the Rockland County Volunteer Firefighters Association Parade, September 9th in West Haverstraw, New York.
Is the mayor and board allowed to go to that parade?
Sure.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, yes, then let's have a motion for that, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second made by trustee Alpert. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The second item on the agenda is we were requested to provide mutual aid to the Cronomer Valley Fire District, which is in the town of Newburgh in Orange County, while they attend the Orange County Volunteer Firefighters Association Parade on September 23rd. And in turn, they will stand by for us while we are at the Rockland County Parade on September 9th.
Very good. Can I have a motion to provide mutual aid to the Corona Valley Fire Department? Please, motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Trustee Hagen.
Second made by trustee Hagen. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
I have a question about that, actually. So, standing by, now they're all the way up in Newburgh area, so are they standing by in Newburgh, if we call them, or are they actually
Yes,
sending
yes,
a
the
this
truck will
way?
be stationed at their firehouse in Newburgh.
So if we needed them, it might take a good half hour to get them.
If we needed them back here, you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, we have 2 other engines.
So it's unlikely. is what
Yeah,
you're
it's
saying. I
very-
just want to make sure. Okay.
And plus, we have Mawa, we have Pullman, we have
Mutual
a
aid
lot.
right now, so.
It's just the extra safety cushion, so, which is always good. The next one we'll do is one motion, maybe, for the 3 family members here?
Sure. So we have applications for 3 new members. Brian Block, who's actually an ex-chief at the Thiels Fire District. He recently moved into the village at 573 Lenape Court, and he's looking to join the Hook and Ladder along with his 2 children who are currently under 18 members, Madison and Matthew.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the Block family, Brian, Madison, and Matthew, please? Can I get
Trustee
a
Corrigan.
motion made by trustee Corrigan? Can I get a second, please?
Trustee Denis-Hogue.
Second made by trustee Genito. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you very much, sir. Police Department, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and village board members. In the month of July, the police department responded to 882 calls for service. I just wanted to brief the board on a couple things that have recently been going on within the police department. Recently we've been increasing our enforcement efforts in the downtown area of the village. I think as everybody knows, we've recently observed an increase in our transient population, and we recognize the concerns that come along with these type of changes. We've made some adjustments to our scheduling in order to increase our presence on the 3 to 11 shift, which is the evening shift, in an effort to increase our visibility downtown during these hours. We've been strictly enforcing quality of life type violations such as consumption of open alcoholic beverages on public property, littering, public urination, trespassing, and other quality of life type violations. The additional staffing during these hours will also allow us to focus on traffic concerns downtown, like the illegal U-turns, the double parking, the things that back up the traffic. We plan on continuing these efforts in an attempt to, address these type of concerns for the business owners and the residents. I also wanted to brief the board on the 2 recent swatting incidents that we had within the last week. I'm sure the board is aware. On August 3rd at approximately 2:25 p.m., we received a call from a male party stating that he was in a residence on Lexington Avenue and that he had just shot his brother with a handgun. He went on to tell the dispatcher that he was going to shoot at any responding police officers that came to his house. We responded to the scene along with assistance from the Round-Pole Police Department and the Rockland County Sheriff's Department and set up an initial perimeter around the house. During that time we were setting up our perimeter, we notified the Rockland County REACT team, which is the county SWAT team, and they began assembling and responding to the scene. During this time period, we were able to make contact with the residents that were inside of the house in question. We got them both to exit the house, and we were able to interview them. Both of them denied any knowledge of a shooting or any type of incident whatsoever in the house. The REACT team arrived on scene. They subsequently entered the house and cleared it. There was no signs of any shooting or any type of criminal activity in the house. We conducted a follow-up investigation, our Detective Bureau, with the assistance of the FBI's New York Westchester Safe Streets Task Force. It's a mouthful, sorry. By 9 p.m. that night, we were able to develop information which led to the identification of a suspect who made the false report to our department. The suspect was identified as a 15-year-old male residing in Orange County, Florida. We contacted the Orange County Sheriff's Office in Florida. They made contact with this individual, and after a short interview, he made admissions to making the call to our department. We're currently working with the Orange County, Florida Sheriff's Department in order to pursue criminal charges against this individual in the state of Florida. The second swatting incident that we had occurred on Saturday, August 5th at approximately 9:50 a.m. Unfortunately, I can't give out as much public information on this incident as it's currently still being investigated. I can say that the report that we received was very similar to the report that we took on Thursday. Same thing, large police response. We were able to clear the residence and determine that the call was unfounded. Our Detective Bureau is still investigating the source of the report at this time. That's all I have for my update, unless there's any questions. I do have one agenda item for the board's consideration. I would like to request that the board declare our former K-9 vehicle, a 2014 Ford Expedition, as surplus. We've recently taken delivery of a replacement vehicle and no longer require this vehicle for municipal purposes.
Okay, just to talk about the new K-9 vehicle. The new K-9 vehicle was purchased with actual DARE funds that were raised over the last good 10, 15 years. So the K-9, as you know, the K-9 vehicle is a specialty vehicle for the dog itself, for Thorn, and Officer Ingwe. So it actually came from the community, caring about the community, and doing these fundraisers, and all the kids and all the parents. So it was a great plus to the village to be able to use that money because even though the dog Thorn does a lot of criminal work, it also makes the community and the kids inspirational, which is a great thing. So I'd just like a motion to declare the police department K-9 vehicle as surplus, please. Surplus.
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Motion made by trustee Albert. Can I get a second, please?
Second, trustee Corrigan.
Second made by trustee Corrigan. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Andy, just one more thing. I just want to make sure the public understands that, as the chief said, I don't know how clear it came out, but there were two separate incidents. On the first incident, they discovered it was a 15-year-old from Orange County in the state of Florida. And what's going on now is and Andy knows this better than me, we're working with Florida to hopefully that they will prosecute this young person. It may end up being in family court of some kind, but that's where it goes. I've also asked our attorney to look at other options for maybe taking action against the young man or the family to recoup the many thousands of dollars it may have cost this village. Because if there's no punishment for these things, it'll just keep going on. So there has to be. And as he said, on the second case, it's still an active investigation. They're working hard on it. And as he said, they're working with the actual Safe Streets, which is a branch of the FBI who's assisting us with these incidents. Because it's not just the money, and as I've mentioned, whenever an emergency service vehicle, from ambulance, the police cars go into service, there's more danger on the road because, you know, they're trying to hope, they think they're going there to save someone's life. So there's adrenaline rush, there's care, so just there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of resources. So thank you very much for a good job with that, Chief Loughlin. We do appreciate that, your service.
Thank you.
And I will tell you this, the News 12 actually called me, News 12 actually texted me today and said that the people were very happy with the villages, you know, the board's performance and the police department's performance, that the residents themselves were very happy when they ran around talking to residents. So I just want to point that out to you, Chief Loughlin. Thank you very much.
That's nice to hear. Thank you. I'll pass it on to all the
Very good,
guys and
Chief.
girls.
All right.
Thank you.
Let me give a clap too, right? The fire department wasn't there, just let me put that on notice. All right, Jeremy? You weren't there. No, okay. You were at a parade. Okay, Cathy, how you doing?
Good evening, everybody. A few things that we have for Save the Dates. Thursday, August 17th is a movie in the park. We'll be watching it over at the gazebo. The Mario Brothers is going to be the movie. 8 o'clock, we're asking everybody to come by, and we will show the movie when it becomes dark. Thursday, August 24th, the senior picnic for Village of Suffern seniors will be at the community center between 11:30 and 2 p.m. Monday, September 4th, believe it or not, Labor Day is coming. The pool closes on Labor Day for the season, but then it will reopen on Saturday, September 9th for the Mayor Family Fun Day at the pool. That was, right now we have that scheduled 12 to 3. Mayor, you can let us know if that will be different hours, but 12 to 3 is what we did last year, but we can confirm that. Then Monday, September 11th, our 9/11 ceremony will be outside here at Village Hall at 7 p.m. And Saturday, September 30th, we have Suffern Day, and that will be during the day, 11 to 3, and fireworks and entertainment in the evening. And I think that's it.
Very good. You missed Mayor's Fun Day at the pool. We will have a barbecue.
We will have a barbecue at that,
Okay,
yes,
and at 9/11 ceremony after it, because I like to bring the community together, we're going to have a barbecue, correct?
That is correct.
Maybe this year the fire department will attend also. They haven't been there the last couple of years. They may show. The police department was there. Very good support from the police department. And the senior picnic is actually for all seniors in the village here. And we actually had a great time, a fun time last year, besides the eating and the dancing and the foolishness by me. So it was a very good time, and you can laugh at me, so you have a good time if you come. And I think that's fine. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Cathy.
Very good. Okay. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to open up public comment. You get a 4-minute per speaker period, and you go ahead and give your comments, and we'll answer them later on or in the meeting, or we'll answer them at another time if we need to get information for you. So if anyone would like to come up to the microphone, you're more than welcome to, please. Oh, can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion made by trustee Alpert, second, please.
Second, Denis-Hogue.
Second made by trustee Denis-Hogue, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Patsy Wooters, 19 Mansfield Place, class of 63, Suffern High School. We're having our 60th high school reunion, and I want to thank the mayor and everyone in the village for allowing us to use the auditorium for a film show. Our village historian is going to show the 1928 film of Suffern and a slideshow of the construction of the thruway. And there were originally 163 of us, and there are a lot gone, unfortunately, so we will hardly fill this auditorium, and I'd like to extend a welcome to anyone else. Family, friends want to come and see the movie about Suffern from 1928. It's pretty cool. You get to see flappers coming out with their third graders. It's amazing. And I want to thank you. We will be spending the day in Suffern and going to businesses in Suffern and coming here in the afternoon. I also want to, I have an ask. I would like to ask that I hear a lot about repaving. And I would like to ask that going forward, when we're doing repaving, we consider getting pavement that has a high reflective index, solar reflective index. And the advantage of this is that it reduces the heat island effect. I'm talking about the extreme heat. We were lucky this summer. We really basically dodged the heat. Other places suffered much more than we did. But there are things that we can do at the village level. We can encourage people, when they redo their roofs, to use pale-colored shingles, and we can also use pale-colored coatings on pavement and also on the streets. Use materials that have a high reflective index. And I'm not an expert on this. I don't know, I know the mayor is always concerned about cost, and I'm glad that he is. But I think we need to consider that if we keep things cooler, our street pavements last longer, our village is less stressed, and the people who work outdoors for the village have better working conditions. So I think that is something that we really need to think about as time goes by.
Okay, I'll talk to head of the Public Works, Charles Sawicki, and he'll look into it. We could always consider doing a bid for that. I don't know if it's more or less or the same. I think that I'll see what I can find out. Yeah, if you find anything, sure. Thank you very much, Patsy. And also, in reference to that movie, we asked the kids who were watching the Mario, which movie they wanted, and they chose Mario Brothers over the Suffern movie, just so you know. That was in the running. Okay. Anyone else have any comments, please? Just identify yourself for your address, sir. I know who you are, but they don't.
Brad Trusowitz, 16 Utopian in the village, lived here 65 years. Just to, the chief is happy to hear him address some of the things I think in the village downtown is going on, double parking, illegal turns, all this crazy traffic stuff. Two things about downtown. I don't know if we have an ordinance or something, but bicycles riding on the sidewalk is a public safety issue. These are not children riding a Stingray. These are adults riding bicycles at higher speeds, and a senior citizen pedestrian will soon be one of their victims. And again, to dovetail what you said about parking, should be, I'm sure you know, there are only 4 handicap parking spaces in the whole downtown village. I don't know what the requirement is, but 4 doesn't seem like enough.
Thank you very much. I agree with you on the bicycle on the sidewalk. It's dangerous to people on it, and it's about quality of life.
They're not kids, they're adults.
No, you're 100% right. Problem is, it's tough catching them all the time. You gotta catch them then, and you gotta put your arm out and knock them off the bike, to get them.
They knock the senior citizen.
You gotta do a clothesline, they call it. No, it's not, I agree with you. It's not easy to, you may drive in your car, the cop might not be right there at the time, but we are paying attention to downtown to what they call quality of life issues, and that's why we're giving out a lot more tickets in reference to them. They had a detail a few weeks back for U-turns. The chief of police had a detail where a lot of cops, they gave out a ton of tickets. They're giving, the problem is you can keep giving tickets. They changed the law with this bail reform, and they kind of mess things up. And that's one of the tough problems. So, the chief and the officers, they write these tickets, and if they don't go to court, nothing happens to them. They don't get bail, they don't get jail. So the system has to be, the system at top has to be changed also. It's making it so hard for many different communities, not just Suffern.
Another one you should look at is the gridlock at Orange Avenue and Lafayette Avenue. Every Friday afternoon.
Yes.
If anything goes wrong on some ancillary highway.
Right.
In New Jersey.
Right. But what do you...
Backed up to Acme.
That's why they've been taking the light in front of me, not because of me, for 10 years, and they turn it to yellow. Because what happens is now you have GPS. Everybody plays GPS now. You hit your GPS, and it says, oh, go down this road. That's the problem now. And like you said, any traffic problem on the thruway, on Route 17 up there, and we are backed up. But it's been happening for years on Fridays, for years and years. I've experienced it, right? So, and it doesn't benefit me when they turn that light to yellow. It makes it tougher for me because it's harder for my customers or other to get across the street. But if you didn't, you wouldn't just have it in Mawa, you'd have them backed up to Ramsey and on the other end of 17. So there are concerns. Me and Mr. Sawicki have had the DOT down here and looked at the top light, and we're still working on getting them to fix it. But even at the top of the town, when they changed that light and they said, okay, people said, we want a left-hand turn here, we want a left-hand turn here. So now you need so many seconds for those functions. When you add all the functions in, there's less time for the straight function. So because people wanted it safer, you're going to wait a little longer. So there's good and bad to everything. So it's not like the old day where everybody just flew through and there were no lights. You remember that, I'm sure.
Okay,
Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it, Brad. Thank you.
I want to add something to that, Mayor. You mentioned, the Friday, so he mentioned the Friday evening traffic. It's something that's been ongoing, as you pointed out, for quite a while.
Yes.
In fact, I recall when, before I was on the board, when there were hearings about the Sheldon, I actually pointed out that there's excess traffic on Orange Avenue there on Fridays. The question is, what is it about Friday that's bringing so much traffic that it backs up, as he says?
They're going upstate. They're going upstate. They're going to the parks upstate, all right? I mean, I'd like to think they want to wave at me as they're going by, but that's not it. They're going upstate to all the parks. They're going to Bear Mountain. They're going, and especially I noticed it from where my position, I have a better view of it all. There's more cars going upstate now because of COVID. People have changed the way they think. They got into more outdoor activities.
Yeah.
And it's definitely affecting us. I think with GPS is affecting us, the number of cars, not the number of cars actually in Suffern, the number of cars outside of Suffern. You'll see how many of those plates are Jersey plates.
Sure.
Now, I don't think, Chief, we can just say, no, we can stop Jersey cars, correct, sir? Okay, good. Unless they're coming to Curley's, you gotta let them go. So, but that's it. It's unfortunate, but that's more traffic, COVID, thanks. How you doing, Mr. Giantino? How you doing today, sir?
Good. They used to call it Getaway Day years ago on a Friday. Everybody's going to the Catskills and everywhere else. But are they going to look at the timing on this new situation?
Yes, I've been down there with Charles a couple of times. The one main one, it was dangerous when they were making actually, we had the green, you thought you were allowed to go, and then you weren't allowed to go. But it's about getting the right timing. But I don't think we're ever going to, I think no matter what now, you're going to have a backup, because instead of having, let's say, 3 or 4 activities, now you got 6 activities. And so each one of those activities needs time, because people wanted those left-hand turns, and that's kind of what happened. Whereas before, you just come and you would flow. Coming up Washington was quicker, and going straight down Lafayette was quicker.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they can accommodate Lafayette Avenue 59 with a little more time, and that'll.
But I think that's what has to happen. Yes.
The line won't be going up to Estegitlo.
You're right. No, you're right, Jim. You're right. Thank you.
On this resolution to put in some laws about renting, I hope you'll consider any rental property have a yearly fire inspection
A yearly inspection will be in it, yes.
Yeah, because this way you keep your finger on what's actually going on in these rentals.
Correct.
Is it one family? Is there 5 families living there? You know, that inspection will make them think twice, hopefully, about, you know, overcrowding different units.
The inspection is a must, and we'll have a public hearing next week, and if there's other points you have, feel free to bring them forth. You know, you've been on the planning board for years, you've seen a lot of things, you've been a part of this community for years, so your input would only be helpful.
Okay, and I know Charles is getting up. Are we going to get a list of streets that are going to get paved this year? Because mine hasn't been in 14 years.
Yeah, well, it's not whether we can do your street or not. We've had FEMA down there just to go there. We had FEMA down there. First of all, so far I have a $1 million grant from the county to fix that road there. That $1 million isn't enough yet. I'm working on that's like the drainage agency there. I'm working on the sewer, and we're also working on FEMA. FEMA was there. Problem is, the government takes too long, you know, in anything they do. So then the other thing we're doing, the question is, do you open up the road, or do you keep the road closed and make a park? So there's other questions there too. With that stream there, you understand, you know, Army Corps of Engineers, the DEC, whoever's involved, and you'd probably do a rip-wrap on the rocks there. That's what they say would kind of work.
I'm sure you've walked it and you see how it's eroding.
I've been there, yeah. Well, I'm just saying on that part of the rocks. I'm not talking, the road has to be done over. The question is...
I'm talking about the earth itself.
I saw it. No, I realize it, yeah. It's,
You're going to get into a can of worms if you start trying to save that rock.
yeah, well...
And as far as another park, excuse me, I think Suffern has enough parks.
Enough bars? Okay, Jim. I understand. Well, listen, it'll all come down to the parking issue again. That's where the parking issue is going to come into play. So that's about changing your use. Thank you, sir. Anyone else have any? Being there's no other comments, can I please have a motion to close the public comment period?
Motion, Trustee Alpert.
Motion made by Trustee Alpert, second made by Trustee Hagen. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Department of Public Works, please. And we're going to have to amend the agenda to add 2 items, okay, if we could. Right, Charles, for the boiler and for parking lot, for A, which we got a grant for on that one, so.
I'll add those at the end.
Please, thank you, Charles.
Okay. Good evening. Item A, would you like me to go through each one?
Let me see, yeah, go through each one, and then I'll do I can do a consent agenda on all of those. Go ahead.
Okay.
And then the other 2 we'll do separate.
Right, okay. Okay, item A, authorization for payment application number 22 to Pittengarrow and Deutsch for the Gosher hardening of water treatment plant project in the amount of $3,338.88. Item B, authorization for payment application number 15 to TAM Enterprises, Inc. for the Gosher hardening of water treatment plant project in the amount of $48,806.25. Item C, authorization to solicit bids for the 2023 right-of-way improvements project with a due date of August 30th, 2023 at 2:30 p.m. Authorization to solicit bids for the Phase 13 roadway improvements project with a due date of August 30th, 2023 at 3 p.m. Item E, E and F would be the authorization to accept a low-cost bid for the wastewater treatment plant chemicals, sodium hydroxide at $7.34 a gallon, and the light soda carbonate at 514 cents per pound.
Okay. Charles, if you can just for a second, because Jim had referred to some of them, I don't want to go over it, just about the bids for the right-of-way improvement project, and 13, maybe talk about some of the roads we're doing?
Okay, the right-of-way improvement project would include the ADA ramps in the, for the roads that we plan on paving.
Okay.
So it's like a total of, I believe, 9 ADA ramps that would be added.
Right. Now, just so, Woodland Drive is one of those roads, correct? Woodland Avenue?
Woodland Avenue, yeah.
Woodland Ave is one of those? Vista Way is one of...
There's no ADA ramps on...
No, I know that, but on the next one, on the 13,
Yeah, so you
on the road...
got Woodland, Vista Way, Chestnut Street, that's the section by the post office.
Right.
And Chelsea Court. Prairie Avenue, which has, I believe, has 8 ADA ramps.
Correct.
Rockland Terrace, I believe, has 1. And then Lincoln Street, which has no ADA ramp. So there's a total of seven roadways that we plan on soliciting for bids.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, okay?
What about the
Oh, yeah, one other thing is, we're as a bid alternate.
Correct.
We're adding in the paved area at the wastewater treatment plant.
The wastewater treatment.
So having that as a bid alternate, that'd be something that we could accept the roadway paving bid, but we
Right.
wouldn't have to accept if we didn't feel comfortable.
We don't feel comfortable with the bid or the
We wouldn't
price.
have to accept that other bid.
Right.
I'm sorry.
So these are streets that are scheduled for the ADA ramps and whatnot, but what about the streets that are scheduled for paving as part of the Phase 13?
No, those were the I jumped them. Those were the he'll give you a list. We'll give you a copy before you leave, see? Those are the it has something in there, right? Those are the roads that are gonna be paved, see?
Okay, so still nothing on Park right here?
We're not even being done.
Yeah.
We can't do it because of Orange and Rockland still doing work there, and you have to have so much time to let it settle. We cannot do Park yet, okay? Even Washington Avenue, what work they're gonna be doing, we just can't do anything. We could go ahead and pave it, and then 2 months later, they can rip it up.
I got it.
So as part of this, the mayor may have discussed it earlier, but as part of this paving project, we have CHIPS funds, which would come from the state.
Yeah.
And we also have finalizing a cost-sharing agreement, number 3, with Orange and Rockland. So, for example, on Park, I know it's a big interest. Joe is...
You know what? It slows it down.
Yeah. So anyway, so I would say there's a good chance next paving project next year, we would be able to get into another cost-sharing agreement with Orange and Rockland and be able to do that roadway and Park and the others as well.
Very good, Charles. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I have a motion, please, to approve items 10A to 10F, please? Motion, please?
Motion.
Motion made by trustee Denis-Hogue, seconded by trustee Hagen. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have 2 additional items that I'd like to add to the agenda. The first item is authorization to solicit a professional service request for bid, RFB, for the preparation of the required bid package for the CBDG grant municipal parking lot A project, paving project. Bids would be due August 15th, 2023 at 3 p.m. The second item...
Let me do that first, Charles.
Oh, would you want to vote on that?
Yeah, let me do that first. I'd like to make a motion, please, to amend the agenda to include a bid for the bid package for the parking lot A lot due by August 15th, please? I get a motion, please?
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Motion made by trustee Alpert. Can I get a second, please?
Second, trustee Corrigan.
Second made by trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Charles.
The second item, authorization to solicit bids for the Dasney Grant Village Hall Boiler Replacement Project. Bids, bids would be due on August 29th, 2023 at 3 p.m.
Okay, can I please have a motion to amend the agenda for the bids for the boiler, for the Village Hall boiler, please? Motion,
Trustee
please?
Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Motion, Denis-Hogue.
Second made by trustee Denis-Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Last year with that boiler, I was here a lot of mornings making sure it was working. That's all I can tell everybody. I have a steam boiler also. So it's used as life, and we actually got a grant of, I think, $235,000 from Senator Melnick, Elijah Melnick. That's a grant from last year, but it took a state while to approve it. So based on that, we'll hopefully have a new boiler here by the winter, so I don't have to be here at 5 in the morning. Because when you don't give those people in the office heat, you get in trouble. So, thank you. And I'm not saying myself, Charles also would come in early too. But thank you very much, Charles.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Neo, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. We have 4 resolutions to consider tonight for your consideration. One is to amend the 2023 current budget, 2023 to 2024 budget, for purchase of Suffern Memorial Pool furniture. So essentially what happened here is we saw a need for furniture at the Suffern Pool. And coincidentally, they had the Mayor's Cup tournament baseball game, which raised over $7,000. So the $7,000 was not anticipated when we adopted the budget. Neither was the pool furniture. The pool furniture in total cost approximately $2,200. So this is a resolution to amend the budget to increase the recreation budget to be able to purchase that furniture of $2,200 and recognizing $2,200 of gifts and donations.
Right. Just to put on the record while I have you in front of witnesses, Mike, we're going to also take some of that money, and a gentleman in the audience mentioned about maybe garbage cans in that area too, some extra garbage cans. So we'll look into that. And also, I think there's a need for more garbage cans downtown because of the distance you go, for the garbage cans, and then there'll be some extra money, but we'll talk about it at a later date, Mr. Nito. I know it's hard to get money out of you, but we got this separate. It wasn't in the budget, and we use it at benefit of the village residents and taxpayers. So, please, can I have a motion to amend the budget for the Suffern Memorial Pool furniture, please?
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Motion made by trustee Alpert. Can I get a second, please?
Second, trustee Corrigan.
Second made by trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, the next resolution is to adopt a resolution for the purchase of bonds, and to be able to bond money in the amount of $500,000 for the road improvement projects that Charles was just speaking about. We estimate that the project is approximately $904,000, and it would be funded by roughly $145,000 in a contribution from Orange and Rockland, $500,000 in these bonds, and the remainder of it would be the state aid that Charles had mentioned, we commonly know as CHIPS funds, that's Consolidated Highway Improvement Program funds.
Thank you, Ms. Genito. Can I please, it's going to be a roll call vote. The adoption of the foregoing resolution for the village to authorize the issuance of bonds in the principal amount not to exceed $500,000, please. Trustee Meegan-Corrigan, please.
Yes.
Trustee Alpert.
Yes.
Trustee Denis-Hogue.
Yes.
Trustee Hagen.
Yes.
And Mayor Curley votes yes.
The next one is a resolution to establish the project for the construction of the new water well. We had already approved the bonds for this. As Fred had mentioned, we are submitting an application for the grant, and this would establish that project on our books.
Okay, can I please have a motion for capital project construction of a new water well, please? Motion, please.
Motion by trustee Alpert.
Motion made by trustee Alpert, second please.
Second, trustee Corrigan.
Second by trustee Corrigan. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Now, we're putting in for a grant for that. The state came out with new grants recently. So depending on what a grant we get or don't get, we could make a decision whether we even do the project. So, Fred earlier was talking about getting 200,000 here and 200,000 here. Now we need millions, Fred. So pay attention, Fred. Millions here, Fred. All right? Thank you very much. Mr. Rella with an A. All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Genito.
And the last one is to establish the capital project for the road improvements for this year.
Very good. Okay, can I have a... Road improvement. Is that a roll? No. Okay. Can I have a motion for capital projects 204 for road improvements phase 13, please?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Second, please.
Second, Denis-Hogue.
Second made by trustee Denis-Hogue. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Mayor, I just want to close with saying that similar to what you were just mentioning, although we authorize the issuance of bonds, we only borrow when we have to borrow the money and only as much money as we have to borrow. So for instance, we have, let's say, a project of $1 million, we authorize $500,000 of bonds, and the outside sources, whether it be grants or donations or other things, exceeds what we normally would have expected, or the project comes under budget, we're only going to borrow the piece that we need.
Thank you, Mr. Genito. Thank you very much, sir. I think at this time, I need to make a motion to go into executive session, please, in reference to a personnel matter in reference to the police department. Can I get a motion, please?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second made by trustee Hagen. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We won't be voting on anything. We'll just go in executive session. We shouldn't be more than 3 hours. I'm just kidding. About 10 minutes, 15 minutes, okay? Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. We're back from the executive session. Can I please have a motion to close the executive session, please?
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Motion made by trustee Alpert. Second, please.
Second, trustee
Second made by trustee Corrigan. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. At this point, if any trustee has something to say, it's your chance to forever hold your peace.
I'd like to say two things.
Sure, Ms. Hagen.
One thing about the swatting, I would love to know if we could reimburse this village, the mayor hit on that before, by either suing the family of the kid that made the phone call, somehow reimbursing, what was it, 90,000?
No, I don't, we haven't come up with a number yet. I don't have a number.
You will, I'm sure you will.
Oh, we will.
You're gonna have to, I suggest you sue them or do something to get that money reimbursed. Well, we're out of all that money and nothing happens.
Well, two things we try, Frank, and we touched on it before. If we can get family court in the Orange County to be part of the punishment, a reimbursement to the different agencies that lost money, one, and I also have our attorney, Terry Rice, he's already been looking into if we can file an action. Most of the time for emergency services, you cannot file an action for emergency service, but being there was a crime or maliciousness involved, we may be able to do that. So he's actually researching that now. He talked about an old case with Suffern years ago where a truck actually had fell off the thruway, but because of emergency services, in that kind of case, we were not allowed to, get money, but this is a different kind of case. So we are working on that, and I agree with you, Mr. Hagen.
Terrific.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
My second thing, today is Purple Heart Day. I would just like to have all these people recognize that one Purple Heart, men and women, since Civil War, 1870. Anyway, I would just like to mention that.
Very good. This board,
big deal.
I agree with Mr. Hagen on that. This board, I think we should recognize all the Purple Hearts who sacrificed for all of us to have the freedoms that we have today. So I join you in that, Mr. Hagen.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Anything to say? Well, I just want to say thank you to the police department for doing a very good job with the swatting and staying on top of it, to the chief and his leadership and all the men and women underneath him. And we only hope that this doesn't, continue on. As I'm sure the chief heard, bicycles, I had heard that concern before. It's a very tough one to catch, but as I like to put it straight out to the guy, unless we have a cop standing there putting his arm out all the time, knocking him off the bikes. It's kind of like the old clothesline. I guess they call it the old clothesline.
I got a dog with a leash.
Yeah, it's a tough, but we have been working on quality of life. The chief has recognized that these concerns also with his board, and he's trying to put more manpower, even the part-time officers down there walking. He recognized with us that putting a lieutenant at night was important, and even changing around the detective hours to add Saturdays. So all this is a plus in advancing, watching out for the public, and with our priority being watching out for everyone's lives there. So, on that note, I think I'll take a motion to close the meeting, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second made by Trustee Hagen. All in favor? Aye. Have a nice, safe night, folks. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.